Okay, and Joe is going to be the co-host, and I'm going to close this participant so I can see everybody's lovely face. Okay. Well, welcome to ICF Houston's annual meeting. We have some updates, a little reflection to share with you. We'll cover I'll just show you our financial performance overview. We'll talk about our community outreach activities. Karen will do a highlight of that. Bruce will share our diversity, equity, and inclusion and belonging survey results. We'll do a group activity, and then we'll just have a wrap up as well. And so at any time, if there's any questions or comments, feel free to come off mute or utilize the chat. Joe and the other board members will be monitoring it on my behalf. And so for all of you that I have not had an opportunity to meet in person and you've just kind of either seen me virtually or seen me on the website, my name is Monique Desant Crawford, and I am your ICF Houston president for the next couple of months. And then I will then be happy to serve as the past president and member again as well. And so I have with me, we don't have all of our board members tonight, but I do want to spotlight and highlight those that we do have. We have Dr. Bruce Huntley and Kelly Houston. Melanie Rodriguez is our secretary, and Zachary Anderson is our communications director. Karen Thomas has been our trailblazing community outreach director as well. Javon Wooden is your president-elect. Tati Bell is over membership. Susan Hodge is our partnership trailblazer, and Joe K. Coker is our program extraordinaire director. So I'm glad to have the board members here with me today and with all of you. So I'm going to go ahead, proceed, and I'm going to turn it over to Kelly Houston, who is our finance director. And Kelly, it is your updated slides as well. I will drive or and just let me know when you want me to proceed.
Okay, hello everyone. Welcome to our annual members meeting, and I'm here to present a financial review for the year. And we're going to really focus on the first 3 quarters of this year. So, so we've had strong financial performance. Total revenue for the year is at $32,209. That's 107% of the budgeted amount. For expenditures, we're right at $28,297, and that's coming in a little bit under budget for the first 3 quarters. We manage our spending very closely as to what we plan, and so we've had really good cost controls this year. And as for our net operating revenue, looks like that number is a little skewed there, but we're actually, for that net operating revenue for the year, for the first 3 quarters, we're at 242% of the budget. So this basically shows a surplus of more than projected. So this puts us in a very strong financial position. Okay, and so the slide here shows us what are the drivers of our revenue, and what we see is uh, the two major sources of revenue are the chapter rebates at $16,700 and also sales at $479. So we've had an overperformance in the chapter rebates of 131% and 103% performance for the sales for the year. We do have an opportunity area, and that's the sales of product income. This is basically the area where we generate income from member events, and so this is a strategic area of opportunity for the upcoming year to focus in on having more events that are member plan for engagement, for learning, and generate. And then also another area that we've discussed is also in corporate sponsorships.
Mhm.
So a little bit of a breakdown of the expenditures. For administrative services, we're at 13,500. This is actually an item where we're over budget. by 111%. So we're 11% over budget. For software and apps, we're about 16% over budget. For our meeting expenses this year, we're slightly down, 7% below budget. And then we also have other spending categories that have zero spend. And this is such as advertising, marketing, and portions of insurance. So what we can do here is sort of going into next year, look at our budget expenditures and reallocate budget as needed. Next slide. And so one of the things I did was take a broader look at the year over year for the 12 months. What this shows are key metrics. Um, we have currently a small gap of about $10,000 of shortfall and a monthly volatility of $831 and 58 cents. However, if we look at our budget budgeted amount for every month, we're pretty much right at budget with our spending. What this really reflects is what we're looking at is the quarterly revenue timing that we get from chapter rebates. And so at the time snapshot that this report is done, that those revenues for chapter rebates had not come in yet. So, next slide. And so as far as going into next year, some of the key recommendations or things that we want to look at is continue to capitalize on chapter rebates. This is a huge driver of revenue for us as we get our membership up. We receive more money from ICF Global. Continue to activate on product incomes. This means for events that we're doing. So we're going to look at a member surveys and get recommendations and ideas from the members of what they would actually like to see for programming. And we do this every year, so this is not anything new. I think this is a continuation of a practice. One thing that's newer this year that we'll be analyzing is pursuing corporate sponsorships and developing a partnership strategy to diversify our income streams away from just the member base income and the product income. And then also, as I mentioned earlier, refine the budget allocation, because for those zero spend categories, we can reallocate budget monies to other things so that the revenue and the spending stream looks a little bit more uniform.
Okay.
Any questions?
Well, thank you, Kelly. Okay, Karen.
Hey, everybody. So this is a summary of what we've done over the last year. And I'll just start by saying thank you to everybody who supported all this program, including many of the people that I see on the call here and probably people that are going to watch the recording too. So thank you to everybody. It would not be possible without your participation in this. We provided numerous speakers for the Dress for Success Veterans Program, and we had great feedback from them. We did this the previous year too, and they love our support. And thank you to everybody for doing that. We've also participated in things like the Women's Masters Network, where we've done a couple of newer things where we did coaching circles, where we would have coaches at a table, and then people would sit at the table and talk about a particular topic, and then they would switch tables and talk about another topic. So we had numerous coaches volunteer for this, and we also did some events in partnership with the partnership efforts that Susan Hodges has spearheaded. So I will just talk about what she's done. She's done a great job of helping us get into things like the Women's Masters Network. And then we also have gotten into the Technique. We did some things there too. Again, that's more on the partnership side, but since Susan's not going to be talking about that tonight, I wanted to mention that. We are trying some new things there with like lunch and learns at the companies, et cetera. Susan's helping with getting our foot in the door with those different kinds of groups. We also provided coaches for different events, the ATD conference, and then Empower conference earlier this year, where we have coaches who are volunteering their time to talk to participants at the conference for 30-minute slots. And these are very popular. And again, we also have so many of you who want to do these different events more than we can handle in the signups. So sorry, we can't accommodate more people, but we want to keep adding more things as it makes sense to give opportunities for our coaches and also give back to the community. Last year, we did the Power Tools for Nonprofits conference, where we, again, did that kind of a coaching corner to participants, and it was a busy day. We had, that's a big conference. I had thousands of people participate. I don't know, is there another slide, or is this the, okay, yeah, I was gonna say there's more. I didn't know.
And
Thank you.
there's more.
Thank you, Monique, for putting the slides together. I wasn't sure if there was another page to it also, but the Texas Conference for Women last year, and then it's happening this month too, again in 2025, where we each year provide 6 coaches for the Coaches Corner at this very popular event, thousands of attendees, and it's a great opportunity for our coaches and for the women who attend these conferences. Same thing with the Empower Summit that we participated in earlier this year. I mentioned the Technique Lunch and Learn coaching circles. It's really a new kind of thing that we did, but we did have very positive feedback on this and the other events that we've done. So wouldn't be possible without all of your support and your help. So thanks so much. Is there another page, or is that?
Nope,
Okay.
you're good. Thank
Okay, I
you.
was going to also mention there another thing that really was spearheaded by Susan was the AMA Job Forward program, where we had people sign up to participate in a career coaching program with people who were looking for work in the AMA. And I sent out an email with a survey. So we're getting responses on that, and we want to see how many. So if you were part of that and you did participate, please respond to that survey. I know a lot of people did not get selected by the AMA participants to do coaching, but we want to see, is that the kind of thing we want to do going forward, or does it not make sense? But we're always thinking of what new things we might do and trying to get feedback on what we've done so we can make it better. Thanks.
Perfect. Thank you, Karen. Okay, Bruce.
Good evening, everyone. Just really want to jump into the survey. We just did our second annual survey. It's been the third, I think. Joe, if I'm correct, it's been the third one that we've done. This year, we were really talking about elevating member voices. And there's 4 really good things that came out of it for this year's survey. We had a 14% response rate, which was better, far better than last year, which is fantastic. Modest for sure, but better than last year for sure, and still enough to give us some meaningful themes around what was going on. So among those who participated, we saw a 13 point, a rise in belonging satisfaction and a higher average inclusivity rate, 9 out of 10 overall, which is fantastic. That means that most everybody that participated in the survey would recommend being part of ICF, which is great for us. Like I said, while this does it doesn't represent every member's experience, it tells us something important, that the direction of our efforts is being felt, and we're moving towards a stronger sense of community around. One of the things that we see from this year's survey is from the open-ended feedback, more to Kelly's point about the in-person gatherings. Really, a lot of the feedback was around how do we get more of those? How do we do diverse speakers and network and mentorship opportunities to deepen that connection? So those are one of the things that we'll kind of point out as we can move forward into 2026. All right, next slide. Now, if we look year over year, which we've got some good data, like I said, we've got that inclusivity rate, which really is about the average inclusivity rate, which is 8 out of 10 last year, rose to 9 out of 10, which is really good in 2025, showing measurable growth in how our members experience our chapter culture, really strong, stronger sense of belonging, that member satisfaction with belonging moderate in 2024 to consistently high in 2025, really reflecting that progress and connection and inclusion that we've been going for. Really a meaningful increase in stronger connection and visibility across the chapter as well. So those are really things that we're really proud of. And again, the emerging priorities really around that open text was around coordinating those mentorship and in-person things. But really, I want to also really talk about the members really citing the inclusive leadership by the board. Our board really, 81% or 81% of those folks really kind of pointed out that the board really did make sure that we were doing those inclusive leadership behaviors and making sure it was safe around those things. So really good job in that way. And we'll just continue to our commitment to these year over year to kind of confirm our shared progress and maybe give a lens to those next steps that we'll do. So any questions about what that looks like for us?
Hey Bruce, this is Chris.
Yes.
How many members does ICF Houston have? This may
That's a
be a bit
great
tied in
question.
between this one and the revenue aspect. Just
That's a
curious.
that's a great question. I'd have to get with Tati on it. I'm not quite
Yeah,
sure, but I think it's 180 some odd.
correct.
Yeah,
Helpful, thank you.
yeah.
Thank you, Bruce. Okay, so this is where you all get to interact with us as well. So we're really wanting just to continue to find opportunities to get the pulse of the members, be able to ensure that our program design, our level of interaction, and the feedback is so we want to just kind of give a platform for you all to do. We're a small enough group that we don't have to really go out into. Kelly? Oh. Are you trying to turn your light on or are you talking to?
Before we break out,
Uh-huh.
I had a question for the people who are here in terms of
Okay.
content, but continue and then I'll ask. It's about I just had an idea about instruction or an event.
Oh, okay. Well, that's great because we want to collect that idea from the group. So really, we're interested in wanting to know. Joe has been great as she pivoted into the program's director role with bringing signature events to the membership. One of the things that we reflected on this past year is wanting to make sure we're bringing value to the members regarding what the cost of the membership and then the programming as well. And so where we saw that we were garnering a lot of interest in our Coach Launchpad, but we were garnering a lot of interest from non-members, and we wanted to pivot to be inclusive, but also be able to leverage the fact that this was a member benefit. So we instituted charging for non-members for the Coach Launch Pad. the coach cafes as well. We had a lot of great traction at the front of the year. But we were also noticing that there's a mix now of non-members and members that were partaking in that. So that's something that the next board will take into consideration around how do we want to keep the level of engagement high, but also make sure that it's member focused, that's a member paid benefit focus in regards to the programming. So with kind of giving that context, we just really want to have an interactive, collaborative conversation around thoughts around programming that we can share for your next administration as well. So any thoughts, ideas? I would say, did everybody have their coffee or their, but it's the evening now. So, and it's probably been a long week for many, but just want to keep it very informal. If there's any recommendations or thoughts that we can share around programming. We did look
Yeah,
to collaborate. Go ahead, Chris.
yeah. I take a lot of value from the coaching launchpad. It's a wonderful community to connect. It's a low threshold. I think Elena does a great job in facilitating and creating the energy and container, um, and the inspiration to come up with speakers and inviting others to come up with ideas. What's the So I'm not a member, for
Mm-hmm.
example, and at this moment I do not see value of becoming a member because maybe I don't have a complete picture in my head of what does ICF Houston offer me beyond the coaching launchpad. My mental model currently is if I see anything of value, I believe that is still available to non-members except for a fee or a price. So that's kind of how I choose to participate, and when not. So maybe it would be helpful to kind of or direct me to a page where I kind of get a better intuitive feel for, oh, I got to become a member or this is worthwhile. Because so far, I would say it's mainly the coaching launchpad that I've used.
Okay. Does anybody from the board want to jump in? Yep. Go ahead, Joe. Because we've had lots of discussions about this.
Mm,
Yes, Chris, nice to meet you. My name is Joke Coker, uh, outgoing programs director. Before now, I was DIB director here. And I think that what you bring up is actually a key challenge that has to be addressed by the new board.
mm,
I mean, Tati unfortunately is not here, but membership needs to consistently communicate the value of membership and our various community engagement activities, including the Coaches Launchpad and the Coaches Cafe, needs to have some parameters around the benefits for non-members as well as members. So in the last year, we had a situation where participants were almost counted as members, which was an error on the part of the board and on the part of maybe our virtual assistants. But you bring a great point because really, if you get, why pay for the pie when you can get it for free? And the idea is that a lot of our programs and what we're doing is really supposed to be geared towards members. And so in the new year, uh, all the coaches cafes and coaches launch pads and the programs should be geared towards members, participation, hosting, and and ideas around it should come from members because we're building a community. And if someone can just decide to cherry pick and choose what are part of that community they want to benefit from, then it sort of erodes the need to actually be a member. Why get married when you can just get everything else for free? What we want is a community because we believe that building a community provides synergy for whether it's new coaches, experienced coaches, or aspiring coaches. And I think
mm.
that this is a major learning point, as honestly, even this annual meeting really should be attended by members, paid up members. So that's a thing that we are learning. and we will need to address it.
Yeah.
The idea is to include as many people as we can, but do so in a way that makes people want to come. And even if it means we have different stratas of membership where people can choose to be, instead of paying an annual membership, they can pay for 3 months or 6 months just to put their foot or the toe in the water to feel what it feels like before they fully commit. That would be amazing. But we've had situations where there has been non-members who have taken up a huge amount of a time commitment and impact without having to be members. And that's at this, I think that's a learning process that we're maturing from, and we'll take into the new year.
Yeah, when we were in a rebuild state, and so when the coach cafes and Launchpad were initially deployed, it was to reestablish connections with coaches within the community and grow the community as well. So we feel like we have successfully done that. Now it's time to reevaluate in regards to the ROI on what we're offering and then equate it to the membership as well. So thank you for your question. And thank you, Elena, for answering. Iris in the chat. Does anybody else have any questions or recommendations around programming? One of the other things that we did do was look to collaborate and partner with other chapters nationwide. So there were offerings that maybe we didn't bring locally to the Houston chapter, but you were able to benefit through either a fee or through your membership of other chapters as well. So that's something that I would recommend they continue doing into the next year. Okay. I don't see any other questions.
Monique,
Yeah,
may I mention
please,
something?
please.
So I was talking to the president of the ICF chapter in, I think it's Hyde Country in Montana. She's a friend of mine. And she had mentioned that the ICF Houston is known for having a lot of, activity and great ideas. So she actually asked me to introduce her to Karen. She wants to talk to Karen. So Karen, I'm going to introduce you to her. But my comment is exactly about, ICF Houston and all the other chapters, as much as possible, could be collaborating together. I think putting synergies, and ideas on how things can be done across the board, or I think even the ICF International could be part of, bringing those ideas down to each chapter if we want to grow the communities, because Chris has a very good point. And I think putting your heads together as far as the different chapter leadership will be a good idea.
Yeah, definitely looked for opportunities to bring different speakers and programs to the Houston members. And Chris, kind of an advantage of the membership is that you would either get a discounted rate to participate in other chapters events, or because you were a member, the fee would be waived. And so that would afford another opportunity of getting continuing education credits as well. So, and then Lorraine had a question in the chat, was to appreciate the programs with continuing education, obviously, especially when you have your credentials, you have to be mindful of how you're spending your time. So that definitely is a draw in respect to having programs that offer the continuing eds, but a certain number annually. Yeah, so going into next year, there could be a target as the next slide will show who your administration will be, but then from that, absolutely from a strategic standpoint, having a target of from the programming standpoint of what you want to offer from a CCU perspective as well. And then could we sponsor a few members to attend the annual convert? Yes, so I had a novel idea of trying to do that this year, but we were fiscally sound with our members' money, and so if it was a little bit closer to Texas, maybe I would have been able. I did take a swing at it, Lorraine, to be able to do that, but to sponsor some of the members to go to Converge. But when we looked at airfare and the cost and the hotel, I was trying to do the whole kit and caboodle of the full coverage of it. But that's definitely, I would raise that as another potential thing to explore going into next year to see how your finance director and the rest of the board receive it. But Kelly's laughing because he brought my feet back down to earth.
Well, you bring up a very good point, and I think it would be valuable for the membership for us to have that opportunity, which is one of the reasons why I want to investigate more into corporate partnerships so we can actually bring in some additional revenue streams, but also provide opportunities for our members to actually work with some of these organizations as well. Whether it be pro bono, low bono, or regular rates, just depending on where they are in their journey in the coaching world. And then one of the other things for program and professional development, as you know, I'm also teaching intro to AI classes over at HCC. And so I've been working with professionals in the continuing education program, and some of the courseware and classes that I've been having. I've gotten very good feedback on their ability to do the uptake and actually apply it to what they're doing at work. And this is even for solopreneurs. So I think one of the other things that we should look at probably pretty soon for the membership is to do maybe a 2-hour session on how to use some of these tools in a more advanced way. Because there are things that you can do just with the basic large language models that are pretty amazing when it comes to assisting with just anything you're trying to do to be productive for yourself.
Thank you for that. Any other questions or comments? As I reflect, we were excited to have Marsha Reynolds here in Houston with us, Sophia Casey here with us. So the programs committee definitely were able to bring some top tier coaches locally to Houston, and as well as we've had some opportunities virtually to connect with them. So excited and proud of those experiences and opportunities of that work. I would be remiss if I did not take an opportunity to thank and acknowledge our past president, Robin Christian, who is a great friend, great mentor, and has just been a great servant to this particular chapter as well. And her leadership is greatly appreciated as well. So thank you for coming, Robin. She's probably going to text me and say, "Why are you saying?" But I want to thank her as well. So the last slide that I have from a wrap-up perspective is to thank all of you. And so for attending today, we are offering a special discount for when you renew your membership. So you can use the annual meeting code. And the list over here represents who your 2026 leaders will be. So Javon Wooten will be the president. Joe Kay will be your president-elect. We are still looking for a secretary. So if you know of anyone or express in the newsletter, it gives direction and information if you're interested. Kelly will continue on as your finance director. Tati is moving to professional development. So all your ideas around program, go ahead and ping Tati. Lorraine Lewis is our new community outreach director. So welcome, Lorraine. Membership, we are seeking someone still for that role. And Dr. Brandy Munoz is going to be the partnership director. Communications, for those of you who have ever interacted with Zach Anderson, there is no other like him. So he has created a great playbook for anyone who is going to step into those shoes. So don't have trepidation around that. But if communication marketing is in your wheelhouse, we are looking for a communications director, and none other than Dr. Bruce is going to stay on as our DIV director as well. So thank you and congratulations to the incoming leadership, and thank you to those that have served for the past couple of years. Karen has been on and served for several years as well. Elena, we're trying to negotiate her, but she is the coach Launchpad as well. So she has been have demonstrated the epitome of service in regards to that space. So with that, that is all I had on the agenda. Thank you, Robin, as well. I appreciate you. And we will give you all a little bit of time back into your evening. Thank you for joining us this evening.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.
Have a good evening.
Thank
you,
you.
everyone.
Thank
Thank
you.
you
Thanks, Monique.
so much, Monique.
Thank you.
And the team.
Mhm.
Well done.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
I hope to see everyone on Tuesday.
I'll be
Bye.
there.
Yes.
Bye-bye.
Bye.